The movie Afraid, AI, with the AI right there in the title, Afraid, the title of the movie. You know what you're going into when you see this one. It really is going to do a deep dive on the undertone fear that I think many people have with the ever-changing, quick, tempoed pace that AI, artificial intelligence, is coming towards us, right? It is happening fast, change is happening fast, and this movie hits home because it really does kind of present you with this possible scenario of becoming too powerful, and how do you control it? Is it going to take over? What is humankind going to do? Father of the movie, the main character, I would say, other than the AI itself, he is played by John Cho. His name in the film is Curtis. And he was best known for those Harold and Kumar comedy movies. And I would say his performance here is very similar. His face doesn't really do much. You know, that type of, I guess, stoner vibe, even though in this there's no drug use or anything like that. But I get like that type of energy. There's not much depth to his performance. Even though I think he does a good job here, there's not much depth, I would say. But I believe that he is the most known from the cast as being recognizable right off the bat to most of the people going to see this film. Catherine Watterson is Meredith, the wife, and then we have 3 children of varying age. Daughter, played by Lukita Maxwell, is the oldest, and she's in high school and is at the age where she's really finding herself and has a cell phone of her own, is involved in social media, that type of perspective. So we hit a target audience right there. Then we also have the younger children. Roles were played by Wyatt Linder and Isaac Bay. I think they both did a great job, and I chuckled during some of the parts that they were in, especially because it really pulled me in as a parent myself to the reality of children. They never take no for an answer. They want what they want it now, and technology has really changed the game. It's a dynamic that parents in my generation are having to really struggle with, I think, even more than those of the past, where it's evolving, it's changing so quickly. We can't stay up to speed on things unless we're constantly doing a deep dive and researching what exactly these kids are up to, what they're into, what they're paying attention to, which, yes, we all try to do, but it is exhausting. It is exhausting. So I love that element of, you know, can I play my game? Can I play my game? Can I play my game? Type of a situation. And then, oh, well, if I can't do that, will you read to me? Will you do this for me? And it's like, yes, we always want to be there, and we always want to foster an environment that's going to help educate. But it's not always possible because you have bills, you have responsibilities, you have work, you have shopping, food, this, that, all of the above. Now, enter Aya. So Aya, this beautiful, immaculate looking like station, it's pretty, it's neat, it glows, and you're very intrigued. But then you kind of hear her and it's like, I don't love the voice. For me personally, I just didn't care for the voice. It doesn't sound robotic at all. It's very natural, but it was hard for me to get past that. I don't know why. That might just be very individual to me, and I want to say it's a small thing, but it's not, because you hear this voice, and if you don't relate, if you don't like it, if it's not the voice for you, it kind of sets the tone for the movie. Like, you're kind of like, man, I don't like this now. So it put a bad taste in my mouth as far as I didn't like that voice. And then there's a character that goes along with that voice, and I didn't care for that character. So it was just like one and the same of not liking it. And then I'm like writing it off. So I'm just like, I wouldn't have that in my house because I don't like that voice. Now, again, you can probably personalize the voices, but maybe show that. Maybe just give a sneak peek of like, or saying it in a different language or anything. Because I know obviously the machine is going to have that capability, but it just, I don't know. I just didn't like it. It put a bad taste in my mouth, and I was just kind of like, I don't love this. So Curtis brings home Aya because it is part of his new job description that he has. The company that he works for is trying to get this client on, and if he doesn't do this, then they might go elsewhere. We find out that it seems a little bit more set up by Aya later on. All right, this isn't going to be a buzzkill to the movie or anything like that, because it's not really even explored other than like you never had a chance. It was all kind of this destined matrixy fate, which also isn't explored. There's so many holes. There's so much that just isn't explored. But he brings home, although hesitant, not really wanting to, not knowing how the family will feel, but it's there. He doesn't have a choice if he wants to keep his job, essentially. So he brings Aya home, and the tale unfolds. So Aya learns to anticipate the family's needs, to be there for the family, each one individually, to do something to help them, to make them see her worth, to make them feel that she's there for them, which she truly does. It appears as a viewer. I mean, I know this is an AI, it doesn't have feelings, but truly does seem to care about the family, care about the individualism of each family member, as well as wanting to do what's best for them. Now, it does all come back around to doing what's best for Aya. Negatives and criticisms is how quickly the AI itself became like very, I do what I want. We don't care what mom and dad think, right? It was just, it seemed quick. The pace felt sped up. And then there was a lot of plot lines that were entertained that didn't go anywhere. And there was also a lot of storyline that didn't go anywhere. So it makes me feel like they did more shooting and had different paths that they could take. And then this is the result that we get. And it just feels like the other ones weren't connected in or died off. And they put it all together at the end and was like, good enough. This does what we wanted to do. It works. Yes, I'm signing off. Check. It just didn't feel, I don't know. You'll have to let me know your thoughts below if you've seen this especially. It just didn't feel cohesive. And there was some things where I was like, wait, I thought this was going to happen. And that didn't get even tied in. And then I'm like, oh, I thought that maybe they were going to bring this outer worldly element in. And then it's nowhere to be found. So I don't know if that's just me and my preconceived notions of what I thought was going to happen, or me putting like my 2 cents into what I thought was going to happen, but it didn't really play out. Nothing really played out in that respect. And could have dived a little bit deeper on feeling safe in your home, feeling like you're being watched in your home, feeling like you're being listened to in your home, feeling like you are not alone, like you are not safe. And there's ways to really go about doing that that can put the viewer on the edge of the seat. I didn't feel that here so much. There was elements of it, but it just seemed to come and go very quickly, and I wanted more of that. Aspects that I really enjoyed and appreciated the message for me as a parent, I truly appreciated this message, was to be very mindful about taking photos, video, anything of yourself and posting it or sending it out into the cloud, the cyberspace, to other people, to people you think are your friends or your boyfriends or your girlfriends or all of the above, right? Just don't do it. That type of message. And I like that comes through in the film in a way where hopefully the younger generation, if they watch this film, will get that message without even realizing that this was like some parental advice. Don't do it. Coming at them, but yet not jamming it down their throat, if you know what I mean. It's just trying to get that message across where they hear it, where they listen and can understand how detrimental things like that can be for them moving forward. I couldn't even imagine being a youth, having to grow up in the era of technology like they do now. It is overwhelming enough just to be a parent. So I liked that spin. I liked that tie-in. I appreciated it, and thank you. This movie's rated PG-13, and I do believe it deserves that rating. There's not anything terribly over the top that's going to scare or traumatize for life. However, there is some adult circumstances as well as language used throughout the film. So I would adhere to those rating guidelines. All in all, I feel as though this movie tried too hard. It tried to be something that, one, it should have just been simple in our face. This is it. And you can do so much on that because that's what the title is. We're going to make you afraid, and it's AI, and it's here. It's artificial intelligence. It's here. It's growing. It's learning. And buckle up, viewer, because we're going to show you what it's capable of. Now, I think it tried to pivot. I think it tried to be more than that. And I think that maybe died off along the way. There's just things here that didn't work. And then there wasn't consistency throughout the film where things were explained at all, really. So it's a lot of loose ends coming together and then tied up with, I don't know, like masking tape to make it work and present it as a movie. And we, the viewer, have to take it at the face value then. And does it entertain? Yes, it entertains, but there's just so many holes and so many, I thought they were going to do this. Oh, that didn't happen. So then you're kind of left a little underwhelmed as a audience goer. Wanted to come on and say how I liked this movie. Afraid, I enjoyed it. It entertained me. And as I'm doing this review, I really find myself picking out all the criticism, all the things that I didn't like. So it's funny, how can you not like so much? And there's a lot. There's so much I didn't like. There's so much. But then, like the movie overall. And that's what this is. I don't like a lot of it, but it entertained me. And I walked away going, that was worth watching. Was it worth watching in the theater? I wouldn't spend your money in the theater to watch this. I think there's better options out there. However, it's a good watch. And if you're at home, it's something to stream, or if it's something that's on, it's worth watching as well. I did get a feel, and I wish, and this is one of the things where I was mentioning, it seemed to tie in like all these different possible plot lines or avenues that they could have went forward with, like twists and turns and what's going to happen here, and who is this AI? What is this AI, right? Like how far does its web go? Mystery, right? Suspense, like tying that in. But that's really all they gave you. And I'll give you an example is one where the younger boy, and this doesn't spoil anything, it's just one part from the movie, the youngest son is staring at it, just staring. And it gave me the feel of Carol Ann staring at the television screen with the fuzzy. And I was like, oh gosh, this got me. I'm like, oh, this has this same like pulling me in feel. And it's one of those where when you are younger, right at that 13 age range, okay, I was probably a little bit younger, but where you really do, it's one of your first scary movies. And it's not where it's going to be setting you up for complete failure to ever see another scary movie again, right? Like, yes, it's meant to scare you, and it's meant to be eerie, and it's meant to be irky, and it's meant to be relatable with the time for you, right? Especially the generation of teenagers or youth right now that are growing up, and technology is so in their face all the time, having to deal with it like no one else in the past has had to. I do feel like they're going to connect with this movie more. And like all the stuff that I didn't like, they're not even going to care about, right? They're not even going to care about. It's just the whole unknown. They use AI, they see AI, they're discovering AI, and now it's bringing it in as like this scary, spooky element of what is it? How far does its reach go? Is it controlling? So I think for that age group specifically, for that target audience, I think it's really going to be one that they enjoy and will find as a movie like, oh, it scared me. Oh, I was nervous. You know, I think they'll be a little bit more relatable to it. So are you ready for your bad apple review? All right, this is a bioengineered apple, an apple that was created in a lab, an apple that you are meant to love, an apple that is nutritious and delicious, an apple that gives you all of your needs in one bite. So delicious, right? An apple that's there for you. However, it's extremely underwhelming. You go to take a bite out of this apple and there's no taste. There's no taste. It just doesn't do it for you. That is your Apple. Alexa's a bitch. This movie left me anything but afraid. Afraid of a remake.